Madden gods.
Perfect. Welcome to T4G Gamers. Madden 24 has a brand new trade difficulty setting in commissioner settings and franchise mode. So we're going to test it out. We're going to see the difference between normal, hard, and very hard. So that way you guys know, hey, is it about a 10% increase and what have you. We're not going to go anything below normal because whatever we do, we can just reverse it. Theoretically, that's the same thing. Plus, we're talking easy and very easy. I don't even want to deal with that. And we'll already know the numbers anyway. So let's jump into it. Make sure to hit that like button, comment down below, and let's rally up. All right, so first things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trade for their 5th round pick, the Cleveland Browns, because I'm going to use 2 players as a constant. So I need to have one of their 5th round picks off so I know which one's mine, right? Pretty simple because I don't see actually which one's mine. They're not telling me what pick it is because it's to be determined. It's 2026. Now, the reason I'm using 2026 is because those picks are just not as valuable as current year picks. That's the way it's always worked in Madden. And so we're going to keep everything the same. I'm going to trade from the same team. I'm going to trade for the same guys. And so we have an idea. And that way, when we move up, we have a very good indicator on is it jumping by 5%, 10%, 20%, what have you. So this is what we're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go after a lower overall constant. And then I'm going to go after a medium. And then from there, we should have enough information to be able to determine how much of a gap does it increase depending on what difficulty we choose. So DTR, guy who's having a pretty good preseason, by the way. Shout out DTR, man. Good job, bro. Anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my last 5th round pick. That way, I know for sure that, it's just not messing around. I'm not screwing anything up. Anyways, DTR is worth about a 5th round pick. Now, you could ask for picks back, usually with a 5th round pick for DTR, but this is a pretty good constant here. So for normal, DTR got a 5th round pick. I got him picked up. Now, the next guy that we're going to go after is we're actually going to go after Deshaun Watson. And that way we can figure out, okay, how much is that meter actually increasing? He's a perfect guy to do this with. And so we'll find out. Because he's not the easiest guy to trade for, and we're using this for quarterbacks. So the quarterback position is very valuable. So we'll have a very good indicator here on what we're looking for. Okay, so what we're going after here. Now, I'm going to use pick 28. Because Deshaun Watson's not going to get accepted for pick 28. So right here at normal, we're about at the E. Okay, so look at the E there. More than 3/4 of the way, more than halfway, I guess I should say. So about, I wouldn't say quite 75%, but close enough. Just look for the E right there. So we're at the E of but significantly need more blah, 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 right? Pretty simple there. And then we're going to change the difficulty. Now, before I do that, I'm going to trade DTR back, and I'm going to try to get that exact same. I'm going to actually see, this is going to be another test in and of itself, see if I can actually get my 5th round pick back. And no, they're browbeating me, so trading away, and that's typical. That's nothing too shocking there. So now we are on the hard difficulty, and I want to see whether or not DTR is still going to go for a 5th round pick. And then what Watson's going to go from that same 1st round pick. So we'll go 5th round pick. Remember, it's the last 5th round. Okay, so we're going to go for that. Accepted. So on the hard, it didn't change at all. Our constant was the exact same for DTR. And, it's just, I don't know how much it's going to increase for a lower overall guy. I think that 10% is just going to, obviously if you're going after a very high overall player, that 10% is going to feel greater. There's no question. But I bet you it's 10%. That's my guess. Let's find out. And even I don't think there's any way for me to actually be able to tell for sure. But, yeah, either way. Okay, so we're going to go the current year, 2024. So we have an idea. And it dropped. So I would say, I don't know if that's quite a 10%, but it was at the E. Now it's at the O. Okay, so that's pretty good idea. I don't think that even DTR, when we trade him back, and do the same thing again, and I'll quickly just switch these settings and then we'll try again. Okay, so now we are on very hard difficulty. So we're at the O, And let's see where we're at now. Okay, we're going to offer the same pick for D. Watson. Get a really good indicator here on what that is. Okay, so it went from the, it's about, to me, that looks like a close to 10%, could be 5%. I don't know. It's hard to tell that meter, but it's not as much as I thought it would be. I really thought that would be a bigger drastic change, but it's not. Now I'll go for DTR again, and I would assume because of his low overall, wrong fifth, that he's going to go for a 5th round pick again. And he does. He gets it accepted. So you're basically looking at, like, I'd say 5 to 10%, at least 5%. There's no question that it's at least 5%. Whether or not it's exactly 10% is hard to say, but in reality, I just thought this would be a much more drastic change, and it's not. So that's kind of interesting. I don't think very hard is actually that difficult. Obviously, when you get to the higher overall guys, you got to think of it in a percentage base, right? That percentage, you're going to feel it more, okay, than you're going to feel it when it's a lower overall player. So, those are our guys that we did it with, and pretty simple to tell how much it's going to jump percentage-wise, and I expected it to be way more drastic.